Nike commercial outside. That's a funny one. But yeah, that like, it is one of those things that someone said Nike does people to post there from anywhere skills plus Kate Martin and Cameron Brink are Caitlin's friends, so no harm here. Just think we're just sensitive for no reason. I don't. Paige Becker's Nike logo and Nike stuff so bad.
Look at that. Unrivaled, a completely separate league where Caitlin Clark doesn't even play, is out here promoting her Nike hashtag. Breeze Basketball Club posting from anywhere. Content with her logo plastered everywhere. That's not normal. That's not how basketball marketing works. So what's actually happening here?
So the Caitlin Clark thing has taken over. The Caitlin Clark hashtag has absolutely taken over. And if we're being real, the Caitlin Clark hashtag is killing it. They are absolutely it's killing it. That from anywhere hashtag. Nike have done a really good job at this. And if you guys haven't seen,
the numbers don't lie. This channel started the month at 6,200 subscribers, dropped to 57,200, then crashed back down. Lost 5 subscribers on the 14th, then 12 more the next day. But here's what's fascinating. While this creator is bleeding subscribers talking about the WNBA, the Caitlin Clark hashtag is absolutely dominating. Nike and the From Anywhere campaign are killing it across every platform. The contrast tells you everything about where the league's actual power sits right now.
Breeze Basketball Club. Breeze can pull up from anywhere. They can pull up from anywhere. And it was like Cam Brink is obviously hitting the shot. So you see from anywhere. Suddenly I feel like I make a shot from anywhere. Caitlin Clark logo everywhere. Thank you, Nike Basketball, for the fun surprise, with a huge thank you to Caitlin Clark for being a difference maker. Come on, Nike, please. Please just send someone in Ireland some. I'll promote you guys.
Watch this carefully. Breeze Basketball Club can pull up from anywhere. Cam Brink hitting shots. Kate Mayton in the frame. And there's that Caitlin Clark logo again. On a team in a league during a season where she's not even participating. Nike sent them gear as a huge thank you to Caitlin Clark for being a difference maker. Think about what that means. A rival league's team is thanking a player who doesn't play in their league for being a difference maker. That's not charity. That's strategic marketing, recognizing where the real influence lives.
And I know that it's a logo that Paige has had for a while. And I know she wants to make a Paige bucket and stuff, and it means something. It's fucking garbage. I remember I said it, and I was like, AJ Wilson's logo looks like a bot logo. And people are like, oh, you need to know the meaning about it. I don't care about the meaning about it. Like, it has great meaning. If AJ Wilson's happy with the logo, that's fine. Keep the logo the way it is. I'm not saying they need to listen to fucking Mick Curley. If she's happy with the logo, be happy with the logo. But it looks like a bottle opener. Like,
now here's where it gets personal. This creator is literally begging Nike for free gear. Please just send me something. I'll promote you guys. Meanwhile, Paige Bierkers gets a full Nike partnership with her own logo, and the internet immediately turns it into meme material. One bad game and that logo becomes a trash can. One bad game and the entire narrative flips. But Caitlin's From Anywhere campaign, it's bulletproof. It transcends individual performance because it's built on something bigger.
For kind of everybody involved, because you're now looking at a situation where it's like, okay, we're talking about, from anywhere, shooting from deep, which is clearly something that Caitlin Clark does and is very good at. And we're looking at that being a factor and that being something we're talking about as a, like, okay, now we're seeing it as a women's basketball thing from anywhere. We're going to see it, and I'd be interested to see.
Let's talk about these logos for a second, because this matters more than people realize. A'ja Wilson's logo looks like a bottle opener. Paige Bucker's logo has infinite meme potential. The moment she struggles. These aren't just aesthetic choices, they're brand vulnerabilities. The creator here is getting roasted in his own comments for criticizing them. People telling him the logos have deep personal meaning, and he's right to push back. Meaning doesn't matter if the market turns it into a joke. You can have all the personal significance in the world, but if your logo becomes a trash can meme after one bad shooting night, you've got a branding problem.
If you guys haven't followed Mick Hoops on TikTok, follow Mick Hoops on TikTok. We're actually doing well. Like, surprisingly enough, this is my 2K stuff. Surprisingly enough, we're averaging like 3,000 views of TikTok with 300 followers, which is impressive. But we're still only on 300 followers. If you could follow me on TikTok, but I just want to see the hashtag from anywhere. Has it done much? Hashtag from anywhere. Are people posting it, or is it just kind of the paid partnership?
But the From Anywhere campaign sidesteps all of that. It's not about Caitlyn's face. It's not about a personal logo that can be mocked. It's about a skill, a style of play, an identity that extends beyond one player's performance on any given night. When Cam Brink hits a 3 in Unrivaled, that's From Anywhere. When Kate Martin drains a deep shot, that's From Anywhere. The campaign has created a basketball philosophy that other players can embody, which means it grows even when Caitlyn isn't on the court.
Lethal Shooter apparently not paid partnership. Okay, so seen something. Man, Nike are paying everyone. Can you just? I don't need money. Just give me some Caitlyn gear. Give me some Caitlyn gear, Nike, and I'll happily take it. I can't buy it. It's gonna cost me 300 quid to get a t-shirt. I'm not paying that money. I don't have that money. But it is, in fairness, it is quite a lot of paid partnership.
So naturally, this creator goes straight to TikTok to check if the hashtag is actually working. Follow Mick Hoops on TikTok, by the way. He's averaging 2,000 to 3,000 views per video, with only 300 followers, which is genuinely impressive for WNBA content. But here's what he finds when he searches the From Anywhere hashtag. Paid partnership after paid partnership after paid partnership. Nike is flooding the zone. They're paying everyone. Legal Shooter gets a deal. Influencers across the basketball world are posting. The question becomes, is this organic growth or manufactured hype?
As you scroll down, you see your new fit, new skills From Anywhere. And then after that, there are a couple. It's probably not done as well as they would have hoped. Even though a lot of the paid partnership videos are booming, the Instagram stuff from Nike is booming. I do think in general, the From Anywhere challenge is not... It's probably not doing what they would have liked on TikTok, especially from the initial hype of the original videos.
And here's his honest assessment. It's probably not doing as well as Nike hoped, on TikTok specifically. The paid partnership videos are booming. Those have the budget, the production value, the reach. But the organic challenge videos, the user-generated content, the grassroots adoption, that's not exploding the way viral challenges usually do. The Instagram content from Nike's official accounts is performing well. The sponsored posts are hitting their numbers. But the cultural takeover, the moment where everyone's doing the challenge without being paid, that hasn't quite materialized yet.
They're still out there promoting the hashtag, they're promoting it, which is obviously relevant. Which means it's obviously still has some relevance in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, in general, it is it is what it is. It hopefully is going to continue to do well, and hopefully Caitlin Clark continues to kill it, because you can see obviously Kate Martin, Cam Brink, who are Caitlin's friends on the team, and as much as Paige Beckers and Caitlin.
But, and this is crucial, Unrivaled is still promoting it. A league that competes for attention with the WNBA, a league that needs its own stars to shine, is actively boosting Caitlin Clark's Nike campaign. That means the hashtag still has relevance. It still has cultural weight. Even if TikTok isn't going viral with user-generated content, the campaign has penetrated deep enough that rival organizations see value in associating with it. That's a different kind of success. That's institutional adoption, which often matters more than temporary viral moments.
It's clear they don't particularly like each other. It's clear that neither of them like each other. Paige Beckers and Caitlin, there's a competitive rivalry there. I'm sure if they were on the same team that there'd be no issue with the two of them playing together at all at the end of the day. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you guys think this means anything? Does this mean everything? Does this mean nothing? Does this mean something?
Now look at who's on this Breeze team. Kate Martin, Caitlin's former Iowa teammate and close friend. Cam Brink, another friend from their college rivalry days. And Paige Beckers. This is where it gets interesting. The creator makes a critical distinction here. Paige and Caitlin aren't best friends, but they don't dislike each other either. It's not like Caitlin and Angel Reese, where the tension is obvious and neither one pretends otherwise. With Paige, there's a competitive rivalry, but it's respectful. Put them on the same team tomorrow, and they'd figure it out.
Again, with how good Sabrina Ionescu's shoes been selling, if Caitlin Clark's shoe is anyway comparable, it's a good thing for the women's game to see them being comparable in terms of names to some of the biggest stars and up-and-coming stars in men's basketball. So yeah, that is pretty much it, lads. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section below.
So here's what this moment actually represents. You've got Caitlin's friends, Kate and Cam, playing alongside her rival Paige. All of them promoting a campaign built around Caitlin's signature skill, in a league where Caitlin doesn't play. And nobody sees it as weird. Nobody's questioning why Paige Bueckers is indirectly boosting Caitlin Clark's brand. That tells you something about the hierarchy that's been established. When your marketing campaign is so dominant that rivals willingly participate, you've transcended normal competitive dynamics. Let's zoom out and look at what Nike actually accomplished here. Because the From Anywhere campaign is more sophisticated than it appears on the surface. This isn't just about selling Caitlin Clark's shoes, though that's obviously part of it. This is about fundamentally reshaping how women's basketball is marketed and consumed. Think about how Nike has historically built basketball campaigns. Michael Jordan wasn't just a player, he became a philosophy. Be Like Mike turned him into an aspirational identity. LeBron's campaigns focused on greatness and legacy. Kobe's Mamba mentality became a lifestyle brand that extended far beyond basketball. These weren't just endorsement deals. They were cultural movements that used basketball as the entry point, but expanded into broader identity statements. The From Anywhere campaign is attempting the same thing for women's basketball. It's taking Caitlin's most distinctive skill, the ability to pull up from 30 feet with confidence, and turning it into a broader statement about fearlessness, range, and breaking boundaries. The genius is that it's simultaneously specific and universal. It's specific enough to be authentically tied to Caitlin's game, but universal enough that other players can embody it without feeling like they're copying her. Compare that to how other WNBA stars have been marketed. A'ja Wilson is positioned as dominant, powerful, unstoppable in the paint. That's accurate to her game, but it's also a traditional narrative that doesn't particularly differentiate women's basketball from men's basketball. Breanna Stewart gets marketed as the complete player, the professional's professional. Again, accurate but not particularly distinctive. These are solid branding strategies, but they're not creating new cultural space. Caitlin's From Anywhere campaign does something different. It highlights a skill that's actually more prevalent and celebrated in women's basketball than men's basketball right now. In the NBA, the three-point revolution has made long-range shooting common but not particularly special anymore. Everyone shoots threes. It's become standardized. But in women's basketball, pulling up from the logo is still remarkable. It still draws gasps. It still feels like you're watching something extraordinary. Nike recognized that gap and built an entire campaign around it. They're not trying to make women's basketball look like men's basketball. They're not positioning Caitlin as just as good as the guys. They're saying this is a skill that's more exciting to watch in women's basketball right now, and we're going to build a cultural movement around it. And here's where it gets really interesting. Sabrina Ionescu's shoe sales have been exceptional, better than most people predicted, better than a lot of men's signature shoes from established NBA stars. That proved there's a real market for women's basketball signature shoes, if you market them correctly. So when Nike goes all in on Caitlin with the From Anywhere campaign, they're not taking a flyer on an unproven market. They're scaling up a strategy that's already working. But the Unrivaled connection adds another layer. Unrivaled is trying to establish itself as a legitimate alternative to playing overseas during the WNBA offseason. They're paying players well, creating a competitive environment, and building their own brand identity. They need their league to feel important, exciting, and culturally relevant. So why would they promote a Nike campaign built around a player who's not even in their league? Because Caitlin Clark's rising tide is lifting all boats right now. Unrivaled's calculation is simple. If they can associate their league with the biggest name in women's basketball, even indirectly, they benefit from the attention. When the Breeze posts From Anywhere content with Caitlin's logo, they're not diminishing their own players. They're positioning their players as part of the same elite conversation. They're saying, we have players who can do what Caitlin does. We're playing at that level. It's a fascinating inversion of how sports marketing usually works. Normally, leagues are protective of their own stars and resist promoting players from other organizations. But Unrivaled understands that in women's basketball right now, Caitlin Clark is the tide that raises all boats. Opposing her brand would be counterproductive. Embracing it even indirectly brings credibility and attention. Now let's talk about what this means for the players on that Breeze team. Because the dynamics here are more complex than they appear. Kate Martin and Cam Brink are Caitlin's friends. They've publicly supported her, played with or against her at the highest levels, and built their own brands partly through association with her. For them, participating in From Anywhere content is natural. It's an extension of relationships that already exist. But Paige Bueckers is different. Paige is the player who was supposed to be the next face of women's basketball before Caitlyn's senior year explosion changed everything. Paige was the generational talent, the one who was going to carry the sport into the mainstream. Then Caitlyn went supernova, broke the scoring record, led Iowa to back-to-back title games, and completely shifted the narrative. That could have created real animosity. In most sports, when one player surges past another in the hierarchy, but the relationship between Caitlyn and Paige has remained respectful. Competitive, yes. Intense when they're on the court, absolutely. But not personal, not bitter. And that's actually a huge deal for the because here's what happens if Paige resents Caitlyn's success. The media turns it into a rivalry story. Fans pick sides, and suddenly every discussion about women's basketball becomes about conflict, rather than excellence. That might generate short-term attention, but it's not sustainable. It makes the sport feel small, like there's only room for one star. Instead, what we're seeing is something healthier. Paige can play on a team that promotes Caitlyn's Nike campaign, without it being a story. She can coexist in the same marketing ecosystem, without feeling threatened. And that expands the space for women's basketball rather than contracting it. The creator makes an important point about this. If you put Caitlyn and Paige on the same team tomorrow, they'd figure it out. There's no deep personal animosity that would prevent them from playing together effectively. That's different from Caitlyn and Angel Reese, where the tension is obvious and neither player pretends it doesn't exist. The Caitlyn-Angel dynamic is compelling because it's real and unfiltered, but it's also limiting because it forces fans to choose sides. The Caitlyn-Paige dynamic is more productive for the sport's growth. It allows for competition without requiring hatred. It creates space for multiple stars to thrive simultaneously. And it means that when Unrivaled promotes From Anywhere content featuring players who compete with Caitlyn, it doesn't feel like betrayal or contradiction. It feels like a rising tide. So when we see that Breeze Basketball Club post with From Anywhere, and Caitlyn's logo everywhere, we're not just seeing a marketing campaign. We're seeing a fundamental shift in how women's basketball positions itself culturally. We're seeing Nike make a massive bet that Caitlyn's style of play can become a broader movement. We're seeing a rival league recognize that associating with that movement benefits them more than opposing it. And we're seeing players who could be rivals instead choosing to coexist in the same ecosystem. The question now is whether this actually translates to sustained growth. Because here's the thing. Viral marketing campaigns are easy to measure in the short term but hard to evaluate for long-term impact. The From Anywhere hashtag might not be exploding organically on TikTok right now, but that doesn't mean it's failing. Institutional adoption, getting Unrivaled to promote it, getting players across the league to embrace it, getting it embedded in how people talk about women's basketball, that's often more valuable than a temporary viral moment. And that's exactly what Nike is building toward. They're not trying to create a dance challenge that everyone does for 2 weeks and then forgets. They're trying to create a lasting association between Caitlyn Clark, long-range shooting, and a broader philosophy of fearless play. They're trying to make From Anywhere the defining phrase of this era of women's basketball. If they succeed, it changes everything. It means that 5 years from now, when someone pulls up from 30 feet in a WNBA game, commentators will reference From Anywhere and everyone will know what that means. It means young girls growing up will practice logo shots, because that's the signature move of their generation's biggest star. It means women's basketball has a cultural touchstone that's distinctly its own, not borrowed from or compared to men's basketball. That's the real goal here. Not just selling shoes, though. Nike definitely wants to do that. Not just making Caitlyn famous, though. That's part of it. The goal is to create a cultural moment that elevates the entire sport. And the fact that Unrivaled is willingly participating, that Paige Bueckers is coexisting in the same ecosystem, that players across the league are embracing the campaign, that suggests it might actually be working. So yeah, this creator is losing subscribers talking about the WNBA. Yeah, the organic TikTok challenge isn't going as viral as Nike probably hoped. But zoom out and look at the bigger picture. Look at a rival league promoting a Nike campaign for a player who doesn't play in their league. Look at competitors willingly associating themselves with someone else's brand. Look at how quickly From Anywhere has become embedded in the language of women's basketball. That's not failure. That's the beginning of something much bigger. And whether you're a Caitlyn Clark fan or not, whether you think she's overrated or properly rated, whether you love her game or prefer other players, you have to recognize that what Nike is building here has the potential to change how women's basketball is marketed and consumed.